Hello, this video is about the 5 consolidated cases challenging President Trump's proclamation from June 22nd. It's a immigration ban. It's sometimes called the Labor Proclamation, but its number is 10052. Okay, so my name is Curtis Morrison, along with attorneys Rafael Urena and Abadir Barr. We represent 736 2020 DV lottery winners and their immediate family members, spouses and children, who are plaintiffs in 2 lawsuits, Dr. Mohammed versus Trump and Fonjong versus Trump, okay? To clarify, there are actually 5 consolidated cases total before the District of Columbia, before Judge Mehta, regarding this proclamation, okay? Me, Rafael Urena, and Abadir Barr represent the plaintiffs in only 2 of those, as I said before, Mohammed and Fonjong, okay? The other 3 cases, so you know about them? Aker versus Trump, that's a similar case because it was brought on behalf of 2020 DV lottery winners, and it was also brought on behalf of expired 2020 DV lottery winners, which is great. These are the people that were issued the visas, but then they expired before they could travel. That Aker versus Trump case, that's Charles Cuck is the attorney on that, and also Greg Susskind. They have a whole team, actually. I can't list everybody, all the attorneys. There are over 20 attorneys representing plaintiffs between these 5 consolidated cases. Okay, so let me see here. The latest news. Okay, so yesterday everybody filed their replies, and all the plaintiffs' attorneys filed replies in support of their motions for preliminary injunction or temporary restraining orders. These were replying to the government's arguments that opposed our motions, okay? The procedure now is we go to the hearing, and the hearing is scheduled for this Thursday, August 27th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the time zone for Washington, D.C., and also like New York. The presiding judge, as I said, is Mehta. You can call into the hearing and listen to the arguments if you like. The instructions for that will be below the video. Okay, so what to expect at the hearing? The judge controls the format, okay? We don't control it. So the hearing will be a video conference because of COVID-19. We're not all going to go to D.C. and do the hearing in person. The lawyers and the judge will be participating in the video conference. We can see each other, but the public will only hear audio. If you call in on the line, you won't see us. So sorry about that. That's more about the court's technology limits than anything. Also, this is important, do not record or live stream the hearing. That is against the court's rules. Okay. As I mentioned, there are almost 20 lawyers representing the plaintiffs in these cases, and another 5 to 10 attorneys are representing, that we know of, are representing the government. They will all be on the video call, but they will not be speaking. Each team will have one person in their group that is speaking, so you won't hear from all those attorneys, okay? And what that attorney would be doing would be making arguments and answering the court's questions. But again, the judge sets the format, and we don't know exactly what he wants to do yet. We expect the first issue, or at least one of the most important issues, is standing. That's what it's called, standing. Standing has 3 parts, okay? I'm going to explain this as simply as I can. If you don't understand it, it's really okay, okay? Because we understand it. The attorneys that are arguing it have really gone in deep into understanding this. So this is just the reason I'm explaining this is if you want to listen in, it really helps if you understand what we're going to be talking about, okay? So standing has 3 parts, injury in fact, causation, and redressability. Injury in fact is related to like the hardship faced if the judge does not grant relief. we do not expect this to be a major issue because we can tell that, based on everything we know now, the judge understands, especially for the DV lottery winners, that they face hardship, okay? Causation is the second part of standing. This is that the government did a final action and it caused the injury. For those of you who have read the government's brief, they try to pretend like there was no final agency action. When the administrative records came out, thanks to, in part to the motion for expedited discovery that we did and the oral arguments that my colleague Raphael made, now we know that beyond a shadow of a doubt that there was final agency action. There would not be an administrative record if there was no final agency action. So there's final agency action. So we don't think that a lot of time will be spent on that either. Okay, redressability. This is an important issue, and we think that the court will spend some time on it. And the issue is whether the court's order will fix the injury, okay? And I know many of you have contacted me to discuss this personally, okay? It's an important issue. For example, if the court orders that Proclamation 10052 should be canceled, they would call that a stay, or if it was temporary, that does not automatically mean that the KCC, the Processing Center for DVs in Kentucky, will expedite processing for all the applications that are stuck there. It does not mean that embassies will begin treating 2020 DVs as mission critical priority, which would allow them to make appointments even when they are not at the final phase of their diplomacy strong phases that they're doing, okay? So how the judge does fashions the order to fix the injury is very important, especially to our DV plaintiffs. So we expect that to be discussed. Another important issue that may be discussed at the hearing is called APA reviewability. Now, you won't know what that means if you don't listen to this or you didn't go to law school. So APA is an acronym. It stands for the Administrative Procedures Act. That is law in the United States that governs the administrative procedures of government agencies when they are carrying out acts of Congress. It also applies to presidential proclamations when they're being implemented by these agencies, especially when the authority that the president has to issue the proclamation came from Congress. If any of you have heard, that's what is happening here. The government, the president is taking authority from Congress, who has the plenary power to exclude aliens. They granted him this power, and so since that power came from Congress, it's subject to APA reviewability, okay? So we will be discussing that a little bit because the government doesn't like that. They like to fight back on that. Let me see if I missed anything in my notes. The government argues that the president made the decision, so the courts cannot review it. Well, sorry, they're going to lose that. What the government does not say is that the Congress granted the president this authority in the INA, which is the Immigration and Nationality Act. If you hear INA, it's the Immigration and Nationality Act. And that the State Department created policies, procedures, and practices that are shown by the records that we released. If you saw that administrative record file, the State Department clearly has been working. I mean, they did create policies, procedures, and practices. Because of these two reasons, the government's actions are subject to review under the APA, the Administrative Procedures Act. So we expect that will be discussed at the hearing, okay? Because the government loves to push back on that. Okay, so what do we expect after the hearing? Do we expect the judge to just issue an order that day on the bench? I don't think so. There are so many complicated issues, and they're made worse by the government bringing these bogus arguments that the court has to deal with, okay? They're not going to win on their bogus arguments. but the court has to listen to them. We have to go through this process, and because of that, what I think is going to happen, because okay, the judge must explain the legal grounds for his decision in his order, okay, and if he didn't, it would be vulnerable to appeal. He can't just randomly make a decision. It has to be based on the law and the facts. So it's going to take a little bit of time for him to do that. And it's understandable. And we need to give him that time. We don't want to push for a quick decision. We want the right decision, and we want it a strong decision, okay? So the reasonable thing to do would be not to expect him to do a swift decision on Thursday at all, but probably reasonably would be next week or even the week after. The most important thing is that the decision is a strong decision, and that he has the time to do it right, okay? So let's not be pushing back on, oh no, it's taking too long. Let's not do that. Do not pressure the judge. Do not do that. Okay. So, what should you do? Since I told you can't talk to the judge, you can't pressure the judge, don't contact the government attorney either. Also, don't contact the embassy or KCC between now and when the order is issued. There is nothing they can do right now. Unless you qualify for an exception, and you've already done all the homework on that, if you're a 2020 DV winner, you are stuck, and you need to wait for this, a 2020 DV winner abroad, you are stuck and you need to wait on this decision. There's no reason to bother the consular officers or KCC between now and then. There's nothing they can do. Okay. So, what I want you to do is relax. I want you to take care of your health, okay? I want you to breathe. I want you to walk, drink water, act like a normal human without so much anxiety, because I know a lot of you have years invested in this and a lot of anxiety, and I want everybody to come out healthy. So don't give yourself a heart attack. Don't stress out about things that you can't control. At this point, it is beyond, except for the lawyers and the judge, it's beyond your control, okay? So just relax. This is the part where you watch, okay? Watch the show. You no longer have to fight. So thank you for watching this video. If you are an immigrant or a non-immigrant impacted by Trump's immigration ban, we wish you good luck this week. We also apologize on behalf of the United States that we elected this clown. And to our plaintiffs, thank you for your confidence in us. I hope we've shown that we've earned it, but we will continue fighting, okay? Have a great week. And you don't have to thank us every day. Some of you do that. I appreciate it. But if you don't have to do that, let's just everybody stay focused on Thursday, crossing your fingers, praying if you do that. Just whatever you can do to give good thoughts to Thursday, okay? Thank you for watching this video. Have a good day.